Okay, this lesson is over adaptations. This is actually something pretty new that we started before we left for break. So I'm going to start off by, an adaptation is basically something that helps an animal to survive. There's two types of adaptations. There's behavioral, structural. Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about behavioral. So behavioral adaptations are how animals act, what animals do, and the purpose for this adaptation is survival, so staying alive. Examples of behavioral adaptations include migration. So migration is, an example of migration would be, say, birds flying south in the winter to avoid cold in the north. They do fly back though. Once the cold is over, birds go back to where they're from. And then when it gets cold again, they go back south to stay out of the cold. And that is what migration is. Hibernation is also a behavioral adaptation. Think bears. Bears hibernate in the winter. And so hibernation is whenever they go into a deep sleep in order to save energy. Okay, because if they're sleeping, they're not wasting a lot of energy and they don't need to eat plants, which are not available a lot during the winter. Other examples of behavioral adaptations are sprays. Skunks, for example, they spray out a smelly spray whenever they feel threatened. So that is something that helps them to survive. Some animals, like opossums, play dead so other animals don't try to hurt them or eat them. Building nests is also a behavioral adaptation. So birds, obviously, they build nests. So those are some of the behavioral adaptations of animals. And like I said, adaptations are to help animals survive. Okay, these are instincts, meaning that nobody teaches them how to do these things. They just know how to do them at birth. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to structural adaptation. So structural adaptations are the way an animal looks. And again, the purpose of adaptations is survival, staying alive. Okay, so examples include thorns, spines, and quills. Okay, that's the first example. Think roses, they have thorns, okay? And so obviously if you try to touch something with a thorn, you're going to hurt yourself. So these are to defend themselves from people taking them or maybe from predators and with quills. Porcupines, they have quills. And so if you try to touch porcupine, they poke you with their quills, okay? Another adaptation that is structural can be feet. Think webbed feet. Webbed feet allow animals to swim. There's also claws. Now, not only birds have claws, okay, although they are one of the main animals that has claws, other animals have claws as well. That's what we call nails on animals. We call them claws, okay? So if you have a puppy or a doggy or a cat, they have claws, okay? It's not just birds that have claws. But anywho, most claws, especially in the case of birds, are in order to be able to eat their prey, whatever their prey might be. So think a hawk. They have big old claws and they're able to pick up their prey and eat it. There's also teeth. Animals have teeth that help them to chew whatever it is that they eat. If it's meat, they have pointier teeth. If their diet is more vegetables, they have straight teeth and big teeth as well. Beaks for birds. They have beaks that are adapted to whatever they eat. So if it's a predator, they're obviously going to have a bigger beak. Some birds eat fish, so they have beaks that are adapted for them to be able to eat the fish. So those are some examples of adaptations. There's also tails. Think of a beaver. Beavers have flat tails, which allow them to swim in their environments. Beavers tend to live near bodies of water, and so that's why they have a flat tail so that they're able to swim around. Camouflage is a very common example of a structural adaptation. Of course, camouflage allows animals to blend into their surroundings, and they either want to blend in so that they can sneak up on their prey, or they want to blend in so that predators don't see them. Okay, so it just depends on the animal what the purpose of the camouflage is for. There's also different types of furs on different animals, which allow them to survive wherever it is that they live. And there's mimicry, which is whenever an animal looks a certain way so that it can fool other animals into not eating them. Think of the monarch butterflies. There is a moth that looks like the monarch butterfly. The monarch butterfly is poisonous. However, that moth is not poisonous, but predators think it's poisonous because it looks like a monarch. So that is a little mini lesson and review on adaptations. Again, you do have an assignment on Education Galaxy for this. If you do not achieve a 70 or higher, be looking for that reassignment, because I will reassign it until you get a passing grade. And you have until Friday to complete that. Have a great day.